How about that cigar?
How about that cigar?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Drew Estate Cigar Studios for episode 163 of How About That Cigar Live. Thank you so much for joining us live on Facebook, live on YouTube. And for those of you listening after the fact on the audio podcast, thank you so much for listening to How About That Cigar Live when you drive down the road or work out, whatever it is you do when you listen to your favorite audio podcast. Thanks for making How About That Cigar a part of it. And again, here in the beautiful Drew Estate Cigar Studios, and Drew Estate's Flying Pigs have been cleared for takeoff in their annual spring release. One of Drew Estate's most popular vitolas, the Flying Pigs, are now available. The Undercrown Flying Pig Vitola is available in 3 expressions: the Undercrown Maduro, Undercrown Shade, and Undercrown Sungrown, while the Kentucky Fire Cured Pig is the Smoky and Savory Flying Pig. Last but certainly not least, the famed Liga Privada No. 9 and Liga Privada T52 Flying Pigs will also be available exclusively to Drew Diplomat retailers. For more information, please visit drewestate.com. So, as we speak on the show right now, we're live in progress of Game 3 of the 2022 Stanley Cup Final.
Eric Thompson needs some blood pressure medication.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to reach out to Eric and Jordan from Cigar Dojo and just make sure they're okay, because they're huge Avalanche fans. It's early. I mean, it's, but Tampa seems like they have woken up from their slumber from Game 1 and Game 2. The Minnesota Twins, they're
hot and cold.
Yeah, they either win by 6 runs
out the other way.
Yeah, it's just, and again, against teams that it makes no earthly sense whatsoever. Yeah. And speaking of baseball, I do want to mention, this is a ways off, but we want to make everybody aware that just like last year, this year, How About That Cigar is going to be at Cigars and Baseball in St. Paul, Minnesota on September 8th. It's a fantastic event that benefits the Miracle League. I'm just going to go through a couple items from the flyer here. So this event is, like I said, Thursday, September 8th. And included with your registration, you get a minimum of 12 complimentary premium cigars. They have a vast selection of local craft beer, wine, liquor, sodas, and also foods from great local restaurants. There's a cigar-friendly patio atrium area, and this is at CHS Field, and it's an absolute beautiful venue to have an event. There's going to be live music, a silent auction, and there's going to be live baseball being played on the field during the event, which is just an awesome thing. And so you can get all the details you need on how to register to attend this event. Go to cigarsbaseball.com. cigarsbaseball.com, and we'll have more information coming up about that in the next few months as we lead up to that event.
But it's cigars, it's baseball, and it's a charity event.
Yeah.
I mean,
and just briefly, Miracle League. Miracle League, in a nutshell, what they do is they facilitate and put together places for disabled children to be able to still play baseball.
Yep.
And despite of their disabilities, to still have ways that they can participate in the game of baseball with the other stuff they have going on.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to all of them about that some more as we lead up to it. But great cause and a fantastic event filled with wonderful people in the cigar business. So yeah, I mean, otherwise baseball is cruising along.
No, the Golden State, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson put to bed Boston.
Yeah, so Boston fans, sorry, but you can't win every single championship.
No. Steph Curry and Thompson, how do you beat that duo?
Well, and Steph Curry, I think he made a statement with winning another championship. He's not old by any stretch, but he's definitely older in years than you typically see somebody put on that kind of performance. So I think he did pretty well. And this year got me starting to follow basketball a little bit more. Yeah. I got away from it for many years, but
I did too. It was a good playoff.
Maybe I'll get back into it. I don't know. We'll see. So let's get into our main event of the evening. Mm-hmm. And as always, guys, on How About That Cigar Live, that special guests are brought to us by our friends at Corona Cigar Company.
Corona Cigar Company and coronacigar.com, the internet's largest and easiest to use virtual cigar store. Corona Cigar Company offers you the finest handmade cigars, humidors, and cigar accessories at the absolute lowest possible price. You'll also find unique and limited cigars containing Florida sun-grown tobacco. As a proud American, president and founder of Corona Cigar Company, Jeff Borshowitz, believed it was possible to bring cigar tobacco farming back to Florida. At Corona Cigar Company and coronacigar.com, you'll find the best selection anywhere in the world of cigars containing this special Florida sun-grown tobacco. If you live in Florida or are just visiting, be sure to visit any of the great Corona Cigar locations in downtown Orlando, Sand Lake, Lake Mary, and also the Davidoff of Geneva Lounge in Tampa. For more info on all of that, please visit coronacigar.com and floridasungrown.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please put your hands together and welcome to episode 163 of How About That Cigar Live from West Tampa Tobacco Company. Please welcome Ricky Rodriguez.
Yeah, baby. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be a part of this, and so excited that you're caring about the IVE fans, not the Tampa fans, because I'm in Tampa. So I can care less about the mojo out there for the Cavs and all that. So I hope they go down today like a burning ship.
Well, Ricky, while we do, I think this would be a good time for a toast cam.
Yeah, we'll do the toast cam.
We'll do the toast cam. While we do that, we're going to have you switch your mic again.
Okay.
Switch it and then switch it back.
Oh, yeah. Try that.
So we'll do the toast cam while Ricky is switching his microphone. Here we go.
All right. When lighting your cigar, it is important to be patient, pay close attention to detail, and focus on the tobacco. In the same way, Steve Saka brings those same qualities to the ultra-premium cigars of Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. Patience, close attention, and focus on the tobacco are the qualities that Saka and Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust have become known for. From Sober Mesa to Umbagog, Dunbarton has a blend that will fit your palate, your mood, and any occasion. Visit dunbartoncigars.com to learn more. All right. So, hang on. We got you muted. One sec.
All right,
there we go.
Let me know. Better or okay?
Yeah, much better.
I'm not going to move.
Well, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you so much, guys. And it's a great day for me and exciting day for me. But let's go on and talk about West Tampa and how we got here.
Yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely. Before we actually jump in, let our viewers and listeners know what you have fired up to smoke while you're on our show tonight.
I am smoking the 6x60 black from West Tampa. So there's two blends, the white and the black, and three sizes of each. So a Robusto, a Toro, and a 6x60. So both in the black and white. And so I am enjoying right now the black. And we'll talk about the blends and all that. But like I said earlier, I don't really share a lot of information about the blends because I want you to go in to smoke the cigar kind of blind, because it's amazing how you discover certain tobaccos you thought you didn't like in the past because you had a bad experience, or you liked, but we didn't play it enough for you. And so I think for me to go into a cigar, I want to go blind, especially when I'm tasting other cigar companies. I don't want to know anything about the cigar, even the wrapper, but the wrapper is very important for us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and so we talked briefly before we went live, and you were on our show a very long time ago, and this was almost 3 years ago. But while we had you on that show, we were live in a cigar shop, so we didn't really get to a lot of the topics that we like to learn about from people. And one of the things we want to know from you is, give us a little bit of your origin story as far as, like, when did you have your first cigar? How did you get involved with cigars as a business?
Well, coming from Tampa, growing up, the cool thing to do was smoke in the 70s. Cigarettes or pot or whatever you want to smoke in the 70s. And so to be the cool guy, I gravitated to cigar. And so, because my grandfather and grandmother were master rollers from Cuba, and I was always raised in an environment of smelling cigars. But I noticed right away that I was not a cigar smoker because I think I didn't know what to choose in the 70s, and so I just picked up a cigar or two and didn't like it. So I put it down, and I put it down for years and years and years. Matter of fact, this is the story. When I was kind of recruited to the cigar industry, I met a guy that wanted me to work with him at Nestle, selling candy bars. I was no way I'm going to ever sell a candy bar. So there's no value in my eyes. So we got to Ybor City one time, and we're kind of having dinner, and we're walking in Ybor City. He was a cigarette smoker. And I looked at him, Dave, if you're going to live in Tampa, put the cigarette down, and you need to join the cigar. So there's a shop, and I walked into the shop, and I bought him a McNamara, and I bought myself a Fuente 858, and we started walking, we're smoking, and I was choking the cigar again. And he looked at me and said, "Bro, do you smoke a lot of cigars?" I said, "Bro, Tampa, of course I do." That was my first cigar over 15 years of smoking cigars. And so he remembered that. 3 years later, he called me out of the blue and said, "Ricky, I'm working for Jello Cigar. I need a cigar smoker to work with Jello Cigar." So we have a territory in Florida that we want to take over. And at that time, I wanted to leave my old business. It was in the carpet business, and I hated this business. So you know what? Leave the thing. Let's do it. And they assumed, because my name was Latin, I lived in Tampa, I smoked a lot of cigars. And I remember receiving my first samples the second day I was working with Jello Cigar. And I pulled out a Macanudo and started smoking. I was like, "Bro, this is not like anything I've ever smoked." Because so that mild cigar was perfect for me. And I started smoking. And so that is the way I got into business. And that was over now going on 23 years ago. And so I was a salesman for about maybe 5 years for Jello Cigar. And then the owner of Jello Cigar at that time was Mr. Coleman. And he approached me and said, "Your days of selling cigars are over. We have an opportunity. We want to train you to become a blender. If you want the opportunity or not." I said, "Well, I'm looking around. Who are you talking to? I'm just barely with your company for 4.5 years, and now you're going to make me a blender." And I said, "We chose you, so what do you want?" I said, "I would love the opportunity," and that changed my life. And then I trained with Jello Cigar for 2 years, 1 year in the DR, and 1 year in the factories in Honduras.
So, Rick, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but real quick, before we get to the next part of the story, if you would do us a favor, go into that mic settings drop-down menu one more time and switch back to, because we just want to make sure that.
Okay. How's now?
That's much better.
Much better.
Okay.
Keep all right. Continue.
All right.
Thank you.
So after the training of 2 years, they gave me the opportunity to work with Benji Menendez, and Benji for 5 years. I've worked with Benji for 5 years. If you don't know Benji Menendez, do your research and find out, because this is the owner of the H. Hutman factory in Cuba that left Cuba in 1963. And he taught me the art of blending tobaccos together, because the factory taught me how do we receive tobacco from the farm, what all that tobacco goes through to the end to box it, band it, and ship it. But they never talked to me about blending tobacco, and that came from Benji.
Yeah.
And so, after that training for about 7 years, I went to work with La Gloria for about maybe 18 months to 2 years, and then we merged or bought CAO. That blender retired, and that left a huge opening for us. And so Jello Cigar elected to take me away from La Gloria and put me in charge of blending for CAO. And this first cigar that we launched for CAO was now going on 13 years ago was OSA.
Yeah. Well, and sorry, just real quick.
Yep.
So if we've talked about it on the show before. It's not even our podcast, but years ago, maybe four years ago or 3 years ago, maybe even longer, Benji Menendez was on the Cigar Snob podcast. And I think it was a 2-parter because he had so much to talk about. If you guys want to learn about tobacco, go and listen to those episodes of the Cigar Snob podcast, listening to Benji Menendez talk about tobacco. It's absolutely mind-blowing how much you'll learn.
Yeah.
Well,
and he's a great teacher.
And
I
heard another blender talk about Benji, and he said that Benji Menendez is the source code for blending cigars in the new world.
I agree. I agree.
He was the OG.
I had the opportunity to forge this relationship with this gentleman. To the fact, right now, he calls me a son, and I call him a dad. It's that tight right now. So lucky because, again, if you look at the Cigar Aficionado Hall of Fame, there's only 11 people in that Hall of Fame. I was blessed to be trained by 4 of those people. What? Mr. Coleman, Frank Anessa from Punch, Benji, and Ernesto Chris Carrillo.
Wow.
Before he left fucking General Cigar. So all that knowledge, I have to be a donut to not just listen to them and just react to what they taught me. Not anything I have to offer, just react to what they taught me. I can be a fucking very successful blender in this world.
Absolutely.
That's incredible. I mean, it's like being a baseball player and getting trained by Babe Ruth, Cal Ripken, Barry Bonds, and
playing for the best manager you ever, like the boat owner in the world was, Mr. Coleman. General Cigar. Whatever you think about General Cigar today, we would not be able to smoke cigars the way we're smoking without General Cigar thinking in the 70s and saying this is a luxury item. We need to get out of the gas stations, the quarter markets, and we need to go to cigar shops and do the right way. And that changed everybody's way of thinking about cigars, and an offshoot of anybody's doing cigars today from the new regime, 20, 30 years in the business, owes everything to General Cigar and Atadas for enhancing this business. So now we have shops, we have lounges, we have a podcast, we have everything owed to these guys that say, this is special, and we're going to try to treat it special. You don't buy it at your local fucking, grocery store. This is special.
I like that. That's very true.
So I know we're going to get to West Tampa. I know people are really excited to hear about that, but for me, it's really important to get the picture of your origin story, and thank you for that piece. So you had amazing tutelage of blending cigars, working with tobacco, and now you are starting to blend for CAO. Tell us about that process and going from that, and you start blending a cigar for a giant like General. What was that like?
It was easier for me to go to work with a La Gloria because Ernesto bought into and it was already done as far as the angriness. Oh, you're selling to the major corporations, so that was already done. And so when I took over La Gloria, it was a natural fit and very easy for me. We didn't realize how difficult it was going to be for not only me, for General Cigar to take over CAO, because at that time they were treating me and General Cigar that like we stole that business. They didn't sell it to us. We stole it or won it in a gambling game. We didn't steal this business. So there was a lot of hate, kind of not hate, but a lot of pushback. We're done with CAO. We're done with CAO. If General Cigar is going to take over, they're going to destroy this company that we love, this little mom and pop company. And so we had to fight. And so we didn't know what we got into, but the first 3 years were my toughest years in this business, for sure.
Yeah.
And in those 3 years, what made it difficult, if you don't mind?
The pushback, I don't care what you give us. I don't care how good the cigar is. We just want to support the small, the small companies. They didn't like General Cigar because General Cigar was the Walmart, and they were used to supporting the local mom and pop hardware store. And now Walmart put them out of the business. So that was the pushback. And then the other thing, we didn't know about CAO, the DNA, what they stood for. And that took us about 3 years to really understand what that company represents. What was the foundation? Because it was different from General Cigar's foundation. So we had to realize that and learn from that. And so that was a struggle. But when we launched on the third year, Flathead, that changed everything.
Yeah,
everything.
That was you're 100% right about that. And anybody who has been a cigar nerd or paid attention to anything in the cigar business, even most consumers, when Flathead hit, it was such a huge product, and consumers,
and a shock
for
a lot of consumers.
For a lot of consumers who maybe they were consumers who said, I'm not really a fan of CAO, and then they try this product and they're blown away, or maybe even consumers who said, I've not even heard of CAO, or they say, well, it's from General Cigar Company, so I'm going to pass. And then they try it and they're like, wow, this is legit. And then it starts hitting and getting high ratings on Cigar Aficionado and other places. And that was a real strike of gold for you.
It was it was unbelievable. And the backstory for that line, I was typically General Cigar, we get a year to work on the project, 6 months to develop the blend, and 6 months to work on the packaging, the name, the story behind it. I was working for 9 months on a project that we decided in the factory we don't believe in. We can't do it. It was a crazy kind of cigar that General Cigar wanted. I didn't control CAO like it did last year. And so the first 2 or 3 years, it was driven by marketing, and so not the factory. And so that was kind of given to us. This is what we want you to do. And we worked on this project for 9 months. And one day I was in the factory. I called the president. I said, bro, I'm out. I cannot stand in front of anybody and talk about this cigar, suggest a cigar, because I do not believe in it, and I don't like it, and everything's wrong. It's a Ricky. If you don't have a cigar in 2 weeks, you have no cigars to showcase at this trade show. So what do you want to do? You have anything in mind? I said, bro, I have this crazy concept called Flathead. What is a Flathead? Based on an old car engine, all that shit. Okay, bro, whatever it is, you have 1 week. This is Monday. You have 1 week. Give me a blend and the package design on 1 week. Bro, I went to the factory on Monday. I said, bro, take everything off the table. I'm going to create one blend. I want you to, my team to create one blend, and we're going to smoke these 2 cigars tomorrow. And we're going to see if we have a cigar for Flathead. So tomorrow came, Tuesday. We're smoking at about 5 o'clock that afternoon. We started. So my blend won. Okay, there. But I'm smoking. I said, guys, this cigar is burning too hot in my mouth. It was a round cigar. The roller I work with all the time says, Ricky, let's box press it. I looked at him, brilliant. Let's box press it. The next day, we smoked it. We all looked at, I don't know what it's going to do on the market, but this is one of the best cigars from this factory ever. Let's watch it. And so I went to the box factory. We just got a CNC machine to cut wood for the lids. And I said, bro, this is a crazy concept and wanted to make it look like an engine block. And they cut what, bro, we had it. I went to back home on a Monday, and Tuesday I shipped out to General Cigar, the blends and the packaging. And on Wednesday we got together, and they also, what is this cigar? Called Flathead. Let's go. Let's go. And we launched it, and it's today the best-selling cigar line in General Cigar. It beats Macanudo.
Which is incredible.
That is unbelievable. For the first time ever in the history of General Cigar, the number one brand is not Macanudo. It's CEO Flathead.
And it was done in 2 weeks.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Well, one of the things kind of taking us toward transitioning to where you are now, one of the big things that, we like learning from different people, as cigar nerds and knowing a lot of people from different cigar companies, from different countries, things like that. There are differences from one company to the next, from one factory to the next on how they do business, how they operate behind the scenes, things like that. And, obviously, a number of months ago, the announcement came out that you were going to be exiting your time from General Cigar Company. And then after that, the announcement came that you were starting this new West Tampa Tobacco Company. So going back to the time while you were with General Cigar Company, because obviously the business is all about relationships. The tobacco is great, the designs are great, the cigars are great, but the relationships with people like Justin and Laurel and Sean and all the other fantastic people at General Cigar Company. What are some of the dynamics because STG, General Cigar, it's a massive corporation and there's a lot of moving parts to it. So what are some of the struggles that maybe you had just personally working with a company of that size that may or may not have, led you to the point of saying, okay, I love what I'm doing, I love who I'm with, but I can't really pursue the vision that I have where I am. And I may be even speaking out of turn. That may not even be the case. But I'm just saying, what were some of those company dynamics that maybe led you to finally cast that wand and say, okay, I'm going to move on and start this new thing that I've had a vision for a while?
Great question. Long answer coming your way, but I think like anybody in 2020 when we shut down and we had a lot of time on our hands, and I knew that as far as General Cigar, my future was a great future because I had access to any tobacco that I wanted to receive. I knew that the challenge, if I left General Cigar and worked with another company or formed my own company, I won't have that library of tobacco to make your image grow because, oh my God, look at this cigar and this and that. They're first to use this tobacco in the world. And so I knew that was one of, but at the end of the day, I was sitting here in my garage and thinking. I said, bro, I've been with General Cigar for 23 years. 23 years of the best part of my life. So they got the best part of my life. And I said, could I do something on my own without the safety net of General Cigar or the crutch of CAO? Because all these legendary tobaccos or companies I work for were already formed for me. So I'm just walking in to these great situations that turned out to be CAO was a great situation. Thank God I didn't walk away from it 2 years after we started, go back to Gloria, because I would never launch what I launched through CAO with Gloria. So those questions kind of lingered. And then a friend of mine, my partner, called me one day and said, "Bro, what are you doing?" I said, "You know what? I think I'm going to retire and maybe open a shop in Tampa and kind of do that." And really, you need a partner. I would love a partner. And so, because I knew that I'm smart in the tobacco world, but not the business world. So I need somebody to help me run a business. And we started this process of building this shop. And we were very close to signing a lease. And he called me one day and said, "Bro, I'm out." "Well, what do you mean you're out?" "Bro, we're this close to signing a lease." And he said, "Bro, I live in Richmond. You live in Tampa. The shop is going to be in Tampa. So you have to work the shop 24/7. All I'm going to do is collect money from your hard work. And that's going to drive our partnership and away from each other. So I'm out. I'll help you collect your money. I'll help you any way I can to launch your cigar shop." I said, "Bro, without you, I don't want it." "Have you ever thought of doing your own cigar company?" Really, no. Because I'm working for the best company. Why would I leave Jello Cigar to do this? Because you can. If you want to, I will develop a business, a business plan for us to see if we can do this. And he did it, and we did it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So
That brings us to right now, and you told us before we went live that you've had a whirlwind of a day, and we saw some pictures on social media. It looked like an absolutely incredible, exciting day. So take us now into the development and the launch of West Tampa Tobacco Company.
So when we got together, okay, we're going to do this. All right, yeah, we're going to do this. And so it's the name of the company. And so we started to dig. And Ricky, you love to talk about, you're an educator. You love to talk about the history of cigars, to help them understand what we're doing, how we're doing process. You made a cigar called Cologne and bringing that process of fermentation back in life that was not used in 100 years. And so you're a teacher. So why not, I don't know, something Tampa based? This is your home. This is where you started. Your grandparents came from Cuba to roll cigars. Where? He says, "Where?" I said, "West Tampa." Bingo. Let's call it West Tampa Tobacco Company.
Nice.
Love
I said,
it.
"Bro, wow, whoa, I don't know, because if sometimes if I was happen to live in Philadelphia and I call my company Philadelphia Tobacco Company, I guarantee you I will not be able to sell that cigar well in New York or Boston. They're going to say, "Fuck you. I love you, but no way. No way I'm going to smoke a Philadelphia cigar in New York or Boston." No. But Tampa has this image because we're a cigar capital of the world in
Right.
the 40s and 60s. And so they all, when I visit Europe, "Oh, you're from Tampa, the cigar capital of the world." And no pushback so far has come our way to, "Bad name, bro. Bad name." It just resonates with my history. It is me. It's my DNA. When you look at the story behind it, when you read the box, there's a story in the box. Why West Tampa? And it will show you everything. And I pay homage to Benji, because without Benji, I would not be here today doing what I do.
So you're launching with 2 different blends, correct? And just walk us through. I know you're not going to go deep into the blends, but what was the initial release idea of how you were going to launch these cigars?
Another great question, because I knew that I have fans globally. And so there was a project that the only project that I struggle with CEO and General Cigar was this. I visit, I think I did a tour 7 times in Europe and Asia. And all these guys are, "Bro, you need to make a cigar for us. You need to," and so I remember going back to General Cigar and said, "Bro, we need to make a CAO version for Europe." And so he had a great idea, maybe next year. It was always pushed, never no, but always pushed down the road. And so when we had the opportunity, I said, bro, let's do this. Let's do 2 blends. And 1 blend I'm going to create for the palate of Europe. And 1 blend I'm going to create for my fan base for the love for CAO. And so we do that. And so if you look at the white box, that is more of a mild cigar, mild to medium, but packed with overwhelming flavors. It is just a flavor bomb. But if you look at the black, we knew the fans of CAO from Flathead, Bone, Session, they love the darker wrappers, more body, and more kind of spice. And so when you look at the white, more citrus, and then when you look at the black, more pepper, more spice to it. Same wrapper. One is the the wrapper for both cigars are from Ecuador, Havana, and we're calling it a pink wrapper for the natural or the white. But all we're doing is fermenting that tobacco for about 3 months longer, thus changing the color from a light blonde to a deeper black. So, but you can also see by playing with the blend, it's going to be, there's no way this is the same wrapper. Because there's 2 flavors coming. Yes, it's the same wrapper, but we can't do that because of fermentation and the blends that we're going to create.
Nice.
So you had different regions in mind when you were blending these cigars. Something that's going to land not only in the U.S. but also the European market and maybe even Asia.
Yes. So we're global, and so we launched. Europe already received. Why? We had a kind of a situation with 1 box for the 6x60, both black and white. They were late delivering that box. Europe only wanted the Robusto and the Toro, so they got it. They are now trying to approach us for their 3rd delivery, and we only have been in Europe for 4 weeks, and they're already wanting to order this the 3rd time, and we're saying, hold on, bro, we don't have the product because we have not released in the U.S. And today was the release in the U.S. Today was the first day we shipped or began to ship in the U.S.
Nice. And one of the things that we always like to learn about, because if you go across, the cigar producing countries of the world, there are factories. There are so many cigar factories out there. So was the factory where your cigars are being made, was that already an established factory or is it a new factory? And if it was already established, what made you decide on that facility to make your cigars?
Okay, you really take a dip. Like this is turning into a 60-minute interview. Okay. But a great question because you have to understand, we started this venture about 6 months ago, 8 months ago, as far as seeking out a factory. So we had to be kind of quiet. And so we learned it on a friend, and he says, bro, I'm going to give you 3 factories. 2 in Honduras, and Nicaragua, and 1 in the DR. And so we contacted these factories. The DR factory is about a medium-sized factory. The factory, and one of the factories in SLE or Nicaragua, is kind of medium to big, and 1 was very small. And so all we did was, this is information. I want this type of flavor from the white. I want this type of flavor and style from the black. Go to work. Okay. And they all sent us samples. Everybody sent us 5 of the white, 5 of the black to a sample. The factory that we chose, bro, knocked it the park. Every sample, I said, bro, whoa, I want to meet this guy. This guy is a blender. I want to meet this guy. And so we chose this factory. Never seen it, never asked him, how big are you? We knew by our friend, he's a very small factory. And so I didn't realize how small until I went there. And so I'm used to going to a factory that has 300 rollers, DDR 2,000 rollers. And I went to this factory. They had 20 rollers.
Big
I said,
difference.
bro, what was your biggest order that you ever received? And said, bro, to companies you know, but I'm not going to share their information because
of
they
course.
didn't share it. But I had one order was 5,000 boxes. No, sir, cigars. Oh, good order. And what was the second order? Oh, it's a big order. That was 7,000. I'm waiting for boxes. 7,000 cigars.
Yeah.
I said, bro, bless your heart. I need 180,000 cigars just to launch it. So you need a bigger boat, So he was taken by surprise and says, I think if I just focus on you and do away with the other little companies I'm working with, I'll just do that and I'll just focus on you if you give me the opportunity. And bro, what I realize right now, the power I have, I can change people's lives.
Yeah.
That, to me, I didn't think about that going in, but now that I went in, I now know I can change people's lives. And that is a beauty that I didn't discover until I went to that factory. And I'm so happy that we chose that factory because they cared and you see the passion. When I got there, it was unbelievable.
I love that because the factory experience makes such a difference when you're working with people, because this is this is a lot of work. It's a lot of risk on your part. It's a big investment, and you've got to have somebody putting together the products who actually cares and understands the materials that go into it. And like you said, you could tell when he sent you samples that he was a blender, and that makes a big difference.
Yeah, we didn't want to be a number because, again, I would love to work with General Cigar. I would love to work with Fuente, Pepin, anybody that would make, but, I'm just a number in their eyes because if I go away, okay, go. Now I'm going to, but if I leave this company, this little factory, I will devastate the little factory.
Yeah.
So you went from having access to just about any tobacco in the world now to a very limited supply. What does that do for you and your brand?
That's a challenge that I knew that was going to be presented. Now I want that challenge. I don't want to. Yeah, of course you can cook a great dinner. You have access to everything, But try that with only this, and this, and the piece of fish, and make a fucking unbelievable dinner for us. And so I look forward to that challenge. I know it's going to be different. But when you smoke these two cigars, you'll say, you know what? This is Ricky's next step. Because it's not anything like CAO. It's not anything like General Cigar.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I like that analogy. The simple ingredients can be, that really is true, that when you're talking about food, simple ingredients in the right hands can be turned into a phenomenal plate of food. And the same is true with, what some may consider to be a simpler, more rudimentary selection of tobaccos can still be turned into really pleasing blends.
Yeah, I agree, because you can ask any chef, what's the hardest thing you can, it's a master chef, an egg. No. A fried egg is it, bro, that's a challenge for everybody. And so, bro, you should have that down. But it is. And so I look forward to that. That's not saying that we're not going to reach out. We are going to reach out to other factories to work with. And so, matter of fact, we have a line coming out from the Levas, the tobacco growers, not the Leva cigar company.
Sure.
But I have been approached by a lot of people already. Hey, bro, our doors are wide open. We would love to work with you. So that's the beauty of what I did for the last 23 years, bro.
Exactly.
I've made these friendships, relationships, and maybe people trust me. Maybe people, view me as like, bro, he's one of the good guys. Not the guys who are in this business for the wrong reason. It's about the money. And, bro, never once through this process that my partner or me said, bro, we're going to make how much money. It never came up. I don't fucking care. Bro, I don't care about that.
Yep.
Could I give the factory a lot of cigars to make? Can I give my shop owners cigars they can sell? Can I give my fans a cigar they enjoy? That is what I want. The money would follow it, bro. We all know that. The money will follow it. But when you put that money first, it never works. It never works.
Yeah.
It never works.
I love it. That's great philosophy.
Yeah, really.
So now we're like what, 3 weeks away, less than 3 weeks away from the big PCA convention and trade show. So tell us if you're going to be there, and if so, where you're going to be, and how people can learn about what you have going on.
Now we're going to be definitely be there. We have a little booth. It started it's like a little porch, and it's grown and grown and grown because people want to help us and believe in us. And so I don't know the location, bad on me, details, but we're going to be there. It's going to be open to anybody and everybody that wants to come by and talk to us and see if they want to take a chance on West Tampa. And it's not often that you can be a part of Ground Zero, and that is what I'm trying to share with these guys. Be a part of this journey that I'm going to take, and I think I'm smart enough to work with great people, from box designs to artists to band guys to box guys to backyard guys. So trust me that way, and we can watch this. And you can say in 10 years or 20 years, bro, you remember I was part of that. I love that. So I want everybody to be vested and enjoy this ride with us. I really do.
Yeah. Well,
we're so excited for you.
Yes, we are.
Beyond excited, not only to try the product, but also to just see you continue your legacy that you've created, the relationships, everybody that we've talked to that has mentioned you. It's clear that you are a rock star in the industry. I'm not trying to blow smoke or fanboy out, but I will say that anything that you put out into the market, I can already trust is going to be a damn good product.
Wow, thank you.
You're putting your reputation, your years of work in the industry on the line, and you're not going to throw something shit at the wall to see if it sticks. So I'm
with that. If I didn't do that for General Cigar, I'm not going to do it for my family. So if I say to them, bro, I don't care how much you invested in this project, it's not right, shelve it, get rid of it. And so I would never do that to my family. Like I said, this is my reputation only. So it's not General Cigar forced me to do it. Don't blame me, but all blame comes to me.
Well, and the risk level, like I mentioned earlier, as far as business risk, but also reputational risk, when you're with a big company, that there's a little bit more of a cushion there if there's a product that just doesn't work. But when it's your own project on the line, your own blood, sweat, and tears, and there's very little, especially coming right out of the gate with a new project like this, there's very little room for putting something out there that customers aren't going to respond to. So, and you can tell that you are just like before, you're putting in the work, you're putting in the time and the attention, and you are you have already built decades worth of relationships in this business, which, like we say constantly, the cigar business is all about relationships. And you've obviously put in the work over the years to not only build those relationships, but maintain them, keep them healthy, regardless of where you go and all this. The relationships still stand. And I think that's a big testament to you. And I think it's going to prove very valuable to West Tampa Tobacco Company.
Thank you, guys. You know what? Unfortunately, I just looked at my computer. I have 1%. I'm going to lose you guys in about 30 seconds. So thank you for the opportunity to share a little about my story and all that. So let's do it again. I'll see you at the trade show. And thank you, bro. I love you guys already, and I'll definitely reach out to me, give me addresses so I can send you these cigars.
All right.
Will do, brother, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ricky.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Take care. All right.
Well, that's how about that cigar first? But it happens.
It happens. Technology, batteries run out.
Batteries are a thing.
Dude,
I'm so excited.
I know
for this brand, and I hope that it catches fire for Ricky. And we'll let you know.
Yeah, and we're going to be, like we said, we will be at the PCA trade show recording interviews.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely on our list of people to stop by and talk to.
Yep.
And we're beyond excited for what's coming up. But let's jump in.
Oh yeah.
Is it time?
I think so.
It is now time for this week's Numero de los Muertos. And as always, Numero de los Muertos is brought to us by our friends at Smoke Inn.
And as always, if you go to smokein.com, be sure to add the coupon code HBTC15 for 15% off your order. Some restrictions do apply.
Yes, they do.
They do.
Episode 163.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett, what do you have for us this week?
Ooh, I've got a fun one.
Right on.
30 people a year die from these in the Philippines.
The Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
Yearly?
Yearly. 30 people on average.
Yearly. All right, you guys watching, let's get some guesses going in the comments. 30 people a year die from these in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm. Little clue there. Not parasites, not cockfights. Interesting. They do a lot of cockfighting there.
That's an interesting guess.
Yeah.
Are these these things that cause these deaths, are they creatures?
Yes.
Are they insect in nature?
No, they are not.
Are they
They're not Komodo dragons from our engineer Justin.
Are they're animals of some sort?
They're not anacondas or snakes of any kind.
They're not insects.
Mm-mm.
Are they some sort of worm?
They are not a worm. They're not crocodiles, or as my kids used to call them, crocodigators.
Are they flying animals?
They're not flying animals. No snakes.
Are they animals commonly kept as pets?
They are not.
Ooh, very good guess.
Are you asking me a yes or no question?
Are they on land?
They are not on land.
Are they in water?
They are in water.
So these animals are in water.
Not lions.
Are they jellyfish?
They are jellyfish.
Woo!
Damn it.
I got one.
You did.
So 30 people a year. Why
30 people
the
a year.
Philippines? Are jellyfish more common in the Philippines?
So the area that's common for a lot of these fishermen to fish will go deep diving, and this particular bay is known to have these jellyfish in them, and they're not actually so you don't die from the anaphylaxia, you die from the immobilization that the venom has.
Okay.
So you're not able to swim away.
Right on.
So they drown, but from a jellyfish.
Right on. My first win. It's not my first win, Skip. I've guessed it correctly
You have.
before. It's been a really,
It has
really
been a
long
while.
time.
It has been
I
a while.
can't remember the last time I actually had a correct guess on this show. So I'm
Yeah.
glad to have another win under my belt. So that was this week's Numero de los Muertos. All right, so we have I just pulled up some fresh lightning round questions.
Oh yeah,
Just, because hey, it's lightning round.
it is.
So lightning round, as always, brought to us by our friends at J.C. Newman Cigar Company. They are America's oldest family-owned premium cigar maker, creators of the popular Brick House, Perla Del Mar, Diamond Crown, and The American. J.C. Newman Cigar Company operates out of their 112-year-old El Reloj cigar factory in historic Cigar City, Tampa, Florida. For more information on their cigars or their visitor experience, please visit jcnewman.com. All right, so let's just wade through these here. So Garrett, what is the most amazing natural occurrence you've ever witnessed?
Probably, yeah, no, it definitely. Fishing with my son at sunrise on our little private lake up in northern Wisconsin.
Private lake?
Well, it's a private lake.
You bougie.
Well,
No,
it's
I'm
really-
messing
yeah.
with you.
It's not our own private lake. There's
Yeah.
there's about 25 different cabins on this
Yeah.
lake, but it doesn't have public access. So,
Yeah.
Sunrise, and we're fishing, and about, I want to say, like 10 yards from our boat, all of a sudden, splash right in front of us, a bald eagle took a fish right out of the water, like 10 yards in front of us.
Nice.
Just perfectly in that picturesque, in the morning sky,
Yeah.
bringing it away. That was like almost tear bringing experience.
That
It
is
was
so cool.
beautiful.
Hey, Luciano. Good evening, friend. So I already know the answer to this, but I have to ask, what wastes the most time in your day-to-day life?
Fuck off. Yeah, it's TikTok.
It's TikTok.
It
I
is.
suffer from the same disease. I have been struck by the TikTok disease, and I hate it because I have to force myself turn off the damn TikToks.
Yep.
And I don't post anything. We have a How About
I
That
know.
Cigar TikTok account. We haven't posted anything. Maybe someday we will, but I wish I had never seen TikTok.
All right. I'm reading through some of these. So, what company or brand did you love until they betrayed your trust,
Betrayed my trust.
or they ruined it?
Betrayed my trust. I don't. Well, I won't. Gosh, that's a really tough question.
It is, because I
don't know if a company that like full on like betrayed my trust or whatever, but I know that like when you're younger, when you're growing up as a kid, and there's certain foods that you love, like
Mhm.
fast food comes to mind.
Sure.
I remember loving Burger King when I was a kid. I think it's the worst fast food on the planet now. I can't stand anything from Burger King anymore. So yeah, I guess that's the closest I can think of.
Dodge. For me.
Dodge.
Dodge vehicles.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to buy another Dodge vehicle.
I would never buy
And
another
the
Dodge.
only reason I really say that, mechanically, for the most part, from what I can recall, they've been relatively sound. But up here with all the road salt, they turned into wiffle balls
so fast
in no time. They
They
rust like I've never had every Dodge or Chrysler vehicle I've ever had in the Great White North has turned into a pile of rust.
And no disrespect to our Mopar lovers, like the classic Mopar.
Classic Mopar is a different story.
Totally different story.
Yeah.
That's but as far as buying a new vehicle, I would never buy a Dodge again.
Yeah.
All right. Who is the most intelligent or creative person you know?
Most intelligent or creative person I know. Modelo bought Oreo and moved the factory to Mexico, and now they taste like are Oreos made in Mexico?
I didn't know.
I honestly never would have known that.
I will know that.
I can't remember the last time I had an Oreo though. It's been
I know that
a
Oreos are
while.
not welcome in my home because Jill absolutely abhors anything Hydrox or that kind of.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh.
From the generics to Oreo.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I had an Oreo cookie. It's been a very long time.
It has been a long time for me
Yeah.
as well.
The person who I think is in my life who's the most creative or intelligent. Well, it sounds like a suck up answer, but it's my wife.
Yeah.
She teaches kindergartners. She has 2 degrees in teaching kids ages 0 to 12. She builds curriculum from scratch. She has a knack for getting a room of insane 5 and 6 year olds order and turning chaos into order. She's an incredible. I don't know how she does it.
Teachers in general.
Yeah.
Are incredible people, underpaid, underappreciated.
What's the longest trip you've ever been on?
That would be a 12-day trip from driving from Minneapolis, St. Paul to Tampa, Florida.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My dad had passed away, so went down there to take care of all the things that you got to do. And we drove down in our van that we took out the seats for because he had this motorcycle. And I had no idea what kind of motorcycle it was. And we get down there only to find out that it was this Chinese brand of motorcycle.
Yeah.
That I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. It didn't run. We couldn't get it to run. Brought it to the shop that he bought it from, and they wouldn't even work on it anymore. So we ended up selling it on Craigslist for, I think, $15.
Oh, wow.
But that was the longest trip. So there and back. It was a great trip, though. A friend of mine, Aaron, came along, and that was the longest trip.
Nice.
How about you?
Well, I mean, for me, it would have to be back in my youth. As a late teens, I was in drum corps and toured around the United States and Canada for many summers back then. And typically we'd leave right around Memorial Day weekend and not come back until the first or second week of August. So months in buses, traveling around all over and bringing a duffel bag with clothes and a sleeping bag and roll everything out on the floor of a gymnasium, boys on one side, girls on the other side, sleep, wake up the next day, rehearse all day, and then go do a show at night. And then get on the buses and travel to the next town for 3 months.
Wow.
So a lot of fun though. A lot of fun.
So to just clue in anybody that's recently chimed into the show, Ricky's laptop battery decided to say goodbye, and he went off early, but I highly recommend watching the first part of the show. Matt and I are grateful to have had Ricky on for the time that he was here and to share about his not only early journey, but also the new venture with West Tampa Tobacco and the cool things that he's got coming up. So
absolutely. So let's do notable smokables. And as always, notable smokables brought to us by our friends at Ace Prime Cigars. Ace Prime Cigars, notable cigars, notable passion, notable purpose. So Garrett, what was your notable this week?
You go.
Okay, so mine, I got the box of the Romacraft compilation box where for the last few years they put out all their blends in one single Vitola. So this year was the Corona Gorda Vitola, which everybody knows that's my wheelhouse. So I got those, and yesterday I smoked the Baca, which in that size is called the Jengi, and it's probably because I'm biased toward that size, but it was so freaking good.
Yeah.
In that size. I had not smoked it in that size before. I don't think. Maybe I had, but it was incredible. Oh yeah.
So I smoked 3 cigars on Father's Day. By the way, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I smoked the Aganorsa leaf. How do you say that? Do you remember how to?
That is the is that the one from the Great Smoke?
Yeah.
So that is the Aganorsa leaf signature Maduro, I believe.
Yeah, it's got another name. Anniversario.
Oh, thank you. Anniversario Maduro.
Yeah.
In the special Figurado.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I capped my night off with on Father's Day, sitting out a little warm still at night, but
yeah, I think it's right now. I can't see the thermostat from here, but it's warm in the studio. I think it's
90 degrees outside.
It's 90 degrees outside, and it's 9:38 p.m. It was just shy of 100 today.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining because this past winter absolutely sucked. I am not complaining about the heat even a little bit.
Yep.
So that was Notable Smokables, brought to you by Ace Prime, improving lives through fine cigars. Please visit aceprime.com to learn more. So now we have some coming attractions to tell you guys about, and coming attractions brought to us by our friends at AJ Fernandez. Born and raised in Cuba, AJ Fernandez now produces unparalleled premium cigars in Esteli, Nicaragua. The day-to-day operations at Tabacalera AJ Fernandez are managed under the watchful eye of Mr. AJ Fernandez himself in order to ensure superior quality. The AJ Fernandez portfolio of premium cigars provides a blend, strength, and flavor profile to match the preferences of any premium cigar consumer, whether it's New World, Dias de Gloria, San Latano, Enclave, or Bellas Artes. You are sure to be satisfied with a premium cigar from AJ Fernandez. So, coming attractions. Next week, we have a special Tuesday night show. So instead of Monday the 27th, you guys are going to tune in on Tuesday the 28th when we have Omar De Frias from Fratello Cigars. And then you guys can look for us July 9th through the 12th. We will be covering the trade show in Las Vegas, the PCA Convention and Trade Show. We are going to be pre-recording all the interviews this year in stunning 4K resolution, and those are going to be posted in the days following the trade show. So be sure to stay with us for that. And we will be doing a couple live videos here and there during the trade show just to check in and talk to you guys about stuff. But all the main interviews are going to be pre-recorded and posted on YouTube and Facebook in the days following the trade show. And we want to especially thank our friends at Drew Estate for sponsoring our trade show coverage for 2022. So if you guys have questions for Garrett or myself, email us at howaboutthatcigar.com. Thank you so much to our guest, Ricky Rodriguez from West Tampa Tobacco, for being on the show tonight. Sorry that your laptop battery died, but technology.
Yeah.
It happens. And be sure to follow us on all social media at HBT Cigar. And of course, as always, burn cigars.
not bridges.
See you guys.
Thanks everybody.